Hello guys, it's A Genesis again with another video, so let's go ahead and get started. I already moisturized off camera, so I'm just going on straight with primer, and for primer I'm using the Professional by Benefit, and I'm putting that all over my face, specializing it in my T-zone because that's where I have the most pores. Now I wanted my foundation to be very shimmery even though I was going to use a matte foundation, so I decided to go ahead with this shimmer stick by Sugar Box Face. It is in the shade 02 and I put that all over my face, and on top of that I used the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 322 and dotted it with my finger all over my face, and taking a clean beauty blender I'm just buffing that out, making sure everything is well blended. And I'm also blending the shimmer underneath because as you can see I did not blend it, I am blending it with the foundation. And then jumping straight into the brows, I'm using the Jordana Brow Powder Duo, and I'm using the lighter shade to go ahead and make like a shadow in my eyebrow, if you know what I mean. I'm using a different brow technique and I've been loving it lately, so I decided to show it to you guys. So I just like fill in my eyebrow like I normally would, but I do it with a lighter powder, so I have like this shadow underneath, and then I go in with my Anastasia pomade in the shade Chocolate, the one I always use, and I draw in my hair strokes. I make sure that my brush is very pointed when I am doing the hair strokes. Now it's not so important that the hair is flat and like precise, but when you're doing the hair strokes you want it to be as precise as possible because you want it to mimic your eyebrow hairs. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean up this eyebrow, and I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Finish Concealer, and this one is in the shade Light Medium Beige, and I'm just cleaning up my eyebrow and perfecting it as much as I want it to. You can make it as perfect or as unperfect as you want. I like it to be very defined in the bottom. It just looks better on my opinion. And then I'm just going in with my Ulta Beauty Nude Matte eyeshadow primer, and I'm using a dry beauty blender to apply that all over my eyelid so I can go ahead and start doing my eyeshadow. Now for eyeshadow I am using this like very pretty blue from the BH Cosmetics, and I'm just putting that all over my lid and blending it with a large blending brush, and I'm just getting it to be very pigmented in my eyelid, and then just buffing it out and blending it all the way up. Now for the eyeshadow, I really wanted the blue to pop. Like I wanted that blue to be very there. Like I want it to be very bright, but I also wanted the top to be very like blended and very smooth with a super glittery inner corner, as you guys will see in a minute. Now that I put that very shimmery, very light shade in the bottom, I wanted it to be very, very sparkly. So I'm going to go in with my Stila liquid eyeshadow, and this one is in the shade Kitten Karma, and I'm just putting that all over the inner corner. And then over the top, I'm going in with this eyeshadow, glittery eyeshadow from Wet n Wild. I do not know the shade, but it is a beautiful gold, and I'm just popping that there. And then I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and this one I believe is in the shade light medium, and I'm just putting that all over my high points of my face. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out with my beauty blender. You guys already know. Now to set my concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Pressed Powder. This one is in the shade 100 Translucent, and I'm going to go ahead and set my concealer with that powder. Now I'm going to go ahead and start contouring and bronzing up the face, and I'm using the Physicians Formula bronzer. I do not know the shade. I think is dark medium. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know. And I'm just putting that all over the places where I want to contour and make me look a little bit slimmer, well, a lot more slimmer. Now I'm also going to bring up that shade in my nose and around my lips so it can look a little bit bigger. You know, we're all in for the big lips. I'm just kidding, but just to enhance the lips a little bit. Now it is time for blush, and for blush I'm going to be using the Nude Pink from the Ulta palette. I absolutely love this blush color. Like, I've been using it non-stop lately, and it is just super beautiful on my skin. It's just amazingly beautiful. Like, what? Now I'm using the Carly by Belle palette, and I'm using that gold shade. It does not have a name. I wish it would, but it doesn't have a shade name. So I'm just popping that in the highest points on my cheek and my forehead and my chin and my nose and my cupid's bow. You guys already know the drill. So what goes up comes down. So I'm doing the same thing I did on the top. I'm doing it in the bottom. Nothing new. Now I'm gonna go in with some mascara, and this one is by Ulta Beauty, and I'm putting that in my lower lashes. Now for lips, I'm gonna be taking this really pretty like kind of chocolatey brown, if you will. This one is by LAC. I do not know the shade name, but I'm putting that all over my lips, and then I'm going in with one of the Wet n Wild lipsticks. That one is in the shade Rebel Rose, and I'm putting that in the middle and then making this really ugly thing with my lips, which made me laugh because it looks very, very funny. But yeah, there you go. And then I'm just gonna go in with my fingers and tap that shit out. Now for the finishing touch, I'm going to go in with some setting spray. I'm using the Mario Badescu water, and I'm doing that all over my face. And yeah guys, that is it for this tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe and like this video if you liked it. And yeah, see you on my next video. Bye bye.